Thank you everyone so much for tuning in to the Urban Network podcast. I'm here with Paul and Rob Petros, the owners of John's Marketplace, who have locations in Multnomah Village and also now on Powell Boulevard. Paul, Rob, how are you guys doing today?
Never better.
Doing well.
So can you tell me a bit about like the story behind starting this business or purchasing it? Actually?
Yeah, so as much as we love to call ourselves founders, we try to just defer that to one of my good friends, Dave Percival, who was in the building prior to 99 and got the option to take it over then. And right about that time, with craft brew industry growing and other opportunities, he thought, well, I can do a beer store. And so we started converting it into what it is today. Buying beer, putting it on the shelves in mass quantities, trying to get everything that was available in town in order to represent all beers. And as it grew, as the craft industry grew, so did the store. And he just kept on going with it. At one point, he got an offer from some gentleman at Widmer, asked him if he wanted to try to do a keg sale to go to just to the general public. So he brought in one keg and it sold so quickly, they brought in more. And then that started to launch his Kegs to Go program, which has now become about a third of our business, Rob?
Yeah.
Would you say it's about a third of our business now? And that's been a really strong piece of what we do, as well as the retail side. We still have a smattering of grocery. We're trying to continue on what he does and build it, make it stronger. And so I kind of refined the vision. He wasn't really a retailer, and that's where Rob and I came from. So that knowledge base that we brought in has really helped us give it a little more focus, we think, and make the whole thing a bit stronger.
So how did you get like a knowledge base in beer? Like, have you guys always been passionate about just like craft
Drinking?
brews?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, go way back when I was a kid, my dad would give me sips of his beer, but basically in the early 90s, a dear friend of mine got me interested in craft beer. We were drinking Sierra Nevada Celebration and different things like that, and introduced me to all the different styles. We were home brewing. I always wanted to get into the business. At the time, I was working with Fred Meyer, and so I was on the retail side anyway. Rob and I both grew up in our dad's grocery stores down in Southern Oregon. So we had that base knowledge, and then I layered beer on top of it. It became a passion. Rob was really passionate about wine around that same time. So we were kind of heading in the same direction, different paths. I ended up working for Columbia Distributing for 14 years, and so that gave me a good in-depth knowledge of the industry itself. And when the opportunity arose for us to have potential to own this place and run it, I was very excited, and I wanted to bring my brother along with me because his background is different enough that he brought in things I didn't have as far as understanding business. But we came from that same foundation in retail, and so he understood that as well. So we have a really great pairing with the two of us and what we know and what we bring to the store and the business as a whole.
Yeah, Rob, tell me about your background in business a little bit.
Well, as we said, our father had grocery stores, so we spent our formative teen years kind of doing everything in the grocery business. And I went to when I graduated from college, he hired me on. It was a deal. He'd pay for my college, but I had to go and be an indentured servant for a period of time. So I went to work for his chain. He had 22 grocery stores, about 1,500 employees, and I built a human resource department for him. And then I took over the advertising and marketing until his business kind of went away. It's a whole nother podcast. And I had an opportunity to buy 3 of his stores. And so I rebranded those stores, and we ran them for about 2 years and then sold them off. And that was right about the time organic was coming in, and we were doing our best in the Medford area to bring organic foods to the area. And of course, it was maybe a little early, but from there I went into business communications and have been running technology companies and building sales teams until this opportunity came up. And like to say you kind of become like a salmon, right? You return back to the stream that you were hatched from. So here we are.
Yeah, with a phenomenal store. If you're listening to this on like Spotify, check out the YouTube version because we're actually recording it in their location in Multnomah Village. They have 2 locations. The other one's on Powell, and it's quite phenomenal. You guys by far have the widest selection of beer, ciders, and wines in Oregon, and possibly the entire world. How do you go about choosing and finding all the different types of beers and ciders and etc. to put in the store?
Well, a lot of it comes from, again, my knowledge of beer all through the 90s and drinking a lot. And that's always the one way I help people explain how to understand beer is you just got to try it. And I learned a lot about the different styles and a lot about the different brands that were available.
Styles of drinking?
Styles of drinking.
Right.
And
the binge drinking, the casual drinking.
It's all enjoyable drinking.
Right, it's all good.
Yeah, and you know, fortunately, we're positioned in such a way people already knew the store and knew that we wanted to carry as wide a selection and variety as we possibly could, and so they come to us frequently. But we also search things out. We find new places. We go out and find people that are doing stuff just by going around and visiting other areas, and so it kind of becomes its own natural growth, really. But we're also trying to be as discerning as we can. But we realize that not everything we like or dislike, our customers will like or dislike. So a lot of it also comes down to what do they want. They lead us frequently and let us know what they would like to see in the store. If something languishes and we realize that maybe that's not the right fit for us.
So we have come to this conclusion that there is a drinker for every beer and a beer for every drinker. So what Paul might like is very different from what I might like, what you might like, and it's our mission is to make sure that when the 3 of us get together, that there's something for each one of us. And we've learned the hard way, make no judgments, because we have thought certain things weren't going to do really well, and seltzers, and they've taken off, so it just goes to show you that you just have to remain curious, and give everyone a shot and give everything a shot.
Yeah. It's hard to not find a beer or a drink or beverage for everybody when you have like a million beers in here. Well, I mean, I asked you in the tour we did prior to the podcast that you said you roughly have about 2,500 beers at like any given moment in here. Which is,
we have over 7,000 in our system that could be in the store at any particular time throughout the year. So there's constantly movement, and that makes it interesting.
I bet. Like, how do you manage inventory? Like, how does that work with like so many different types of products and?
That's a good question,
items?
And that's one of the most challenging things that we continue to face to this day. But we've gotten a really good systems in place for receiving, for selling, for stocking, and we have we just. I don't know. It's a hard thing for me to answer because a lot of it is just kind of off the seat of my pants, quite honestly. But we scour the shelves regularly. We make sure our people are always touching the products, making sure that they're looking at everything, seeing what is in, what is out. We rely on them a lot to be our eyes and ears on the ground at all times. And again, they find things that maybe shouldn't be in the store, so we cull them out. And they come to us sometimes and say, hey, I heard about this new thing, or I had this draft, or whatever it might be, and we research it and figure it out and bring it in.
Excellent. Yeah, has to be one of my favorite places, or by far my favorite place to get beer and and gifts for like my parents. My parents, they live like a half mile away, so me and my brother will stop by here almost like every holiday, every birthday, just like pick up something, or when we go over for dinner, we'll like make sure to like get a bottle of wine here. And also, it's like I have a kegerator at home, right. And I come here to fill up my keg.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I know my co-working space, Urban Office, has used this place as well, like pretty frequently to like refill up their kegs and stuff.
Yeah, that was big during when COVID hit. The kegs to go business really really took a jump because everybody is firing up their kegerators again, and it was really nice to see. And it's fun to be able to send them home with other things other than the real standard domestic, lagers that used to be available. Now we can get things from small producers all around the city, like Away Days or Threshold, and give them a really good option at home and a kegerator that they wouldn't have before.
A lot of the companies or the breweries here locally, like that are people think have been around for a while, like Bearlick, they started off real small, and we started pushing their kegs on our keg list, and people started buying this in quantities. And this is, we feel our responsibility to the industry is to give these small guys equal footing, equal representation with the big guys. They're mentors in a lot of ways. These have looked up to these bigger brewers, and that's who inspired them. And they come here, and we give them this spacing and this opportunity to see what they can do. And we always tell people, the best thing you can do is go grab yourself your favorite first beer, like your Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and then get one of the local guys' Pale Ales and drink them side by side, and find the commonalities and have some fun with it, because it all kind of goes back. Everybody is inspired by somebody else. Just want to trace that lineage.
Do you guys finding yourself touring a lot of local like breweries and like kind of brewing operations?
Not as much as we'd like.
Yeah, we'd like to do more. We always love that part, but we do get out and about it when we can, and we do. We've done a couple of quote unquote collaborations with the breweries, and doing different beers with them, but mostly we get to know them in a more relaxed setting, fortunately for us and them, I think. But you create that partnership, and then the culture of what they're doing comes through, and then that's a message we can start passing along and get our people behind. And that's what I think really also helps with promoting them and building their growth, because we're nothing without them. And so if we can help them be stronger, then that helps us be stronger as well.
Nice. Yeah. And you guys provide so much here, from a variety of beers to actually like a small grocery section, or, it's size. There's a lot of things there as well. And you have a restaurant as well that people like come here and frequent for lunch and like throughout the day. What would you say is like kind of the cornerstone of your business, or like what's like kind of the most profitable element, and like as well as the kegs, like as well as all those things?
Well, it's kind of two questions. I mean, the cornerstone is the beer. Yeah. I mean, it will always be the foundation. And honestly, pouring beer is probably the most profitable. That's why every brewery in town is now opening tap rooms, because that's really where the margins lie.
Yep.
Everything in the middle is a mix. You're trying to, you can't outprice yourself. Mm-hmm. So you have certain things that have better margins than others. But
yeah, the foundation with being beer, the retail side of things, where it all began, I believe, and is really what has helped buoy us through this COVID as well. We had to shut down our taps and had very limited kitchen service during the last year and a half, and fell back onto those retail roots that we have and that the business had, and that's been a real savior. We were fortunate that was the base of our business. And as you can see, we devote the majority of the buildings to that. So in that way, it kind of represents it.
And you have two large buildings, two large locations. I actually recently discovered that you have a brand new location, or relatively new location on Powell in Southeast. Congratulations. When did you guys start that?
That opened right in the middle of the pandemic. We opened in July 3rd. 2020. Yeah. So it's been a little over a year and a half. And what we did is, that store is almost the same square footage as this, but we got to start with a box and build it the way we thought we would love it to be. So that was kind of our beta test. We took all of our ideas and things that we knew worked well here and started over there. And we found, oh, some things work really well, which is came back to our reset here we did in the last 6 months. The wide aisles, the little more openness, we found people really liked, especially due to COVID.
Yep.
But it's,
It's a beautiful location. I was there this weekend, actually. I got to talk to Tyler and Yesha.
Yeah.
2 wonderful employees you have there. They're very
We
informative.
got the best.
Yeah, you guys find some amazing employees, and that location is wonderful because it's right by this really cool food cart pod too, and you have a window where you could serve beer out to people who are eating outside, and people are allowed to bring food inside and enjoy their beers. I got some great barbecue while I was there. That was pretty delicious, and everyone was really excited to watch the Civil War, or the Platypus War, or whatever, you know. So there's kind of it seems like there's a sporting or a sport element, it's like a sports bar too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we've always been. I've always grown up. I like visuals, so I always would have a TV on in the background, but I like music, so turn the TV sound down and turn up the music, and so I had a little bit of best of both worlds, and I always wanted that. If I opened a bar, opened my place. And so what's fun about, we don't consider ourselves a sports bar necessarily, but we found here we'd have on the weekends different games on, and everybody would get super excited, you know, and they would come in and sit down and enjoy watching them. They bring their kids in. So we wanted to continue those things Rob talked about, what worked and what didn't work. And that seemed to work for us, and we all seem to enjoy it as well.
We have Bob Ross on sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've seen classic movies playing here too,
right.
which is always pretty fun to see what's on the screen.
We're really a hospitality business. We're not retail is what we do, but hospitality is how we execute on it, right? And so we have to be listening and paying attention to what kind of rings the bells of our customers and makes them happy. And when like Paul said, when you have a family, maybe dad comes in the first time, but the second time he brings his spouse in, and then the third time they bring the kids in, and now they're coming in all the time. And it just that's to us is affirmation that we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, you're cultivating just an environment to create memories and for families to enjoy. That's amazing. I know that I had kind of that experience growing up, coming here as well, and coming home here more frequently, throughout the last couple of years. So you provide an amazing experience and services to your customers, but also you have amazing employees. And right now the country is dealing with this high turnover rate. People are having trouble, finding quality employees or holding on to them. What do you guys do to make sure your employees are happy and having a good experience working for you?
Well, we give them a discount on beer.
Nice.
Right.
That's a good incentive. Are you guys hiring by any chance?
You start on Saturday, by the way.
We've been really lucky because a lot of people want to be in the industry. It's fun. If you're not having fun in this industry, there's got to be something wrong. But and they see what we're doing. They see that we're trying to have a good time with it all. And once they get here, we're able to hold on to them. I think mainly because we believe we treat them right. We listen to their needs. When they ask us for things, we're as responsive as we can be. We've always believed in paying a living wage, so we've always pushed our wages forward in order to be responsive to that and help them out, make sure that they're okay. If they're okay, then they're going to be good while they're here, and it's just the right thing to do. We just implemented our new benefits package. We're trying to do everything we can to be good stewards of the business and our people, and I think that shows. I mean, we've got a great staff, like you say, and if we didn't have that, Rob and I can't do everything. We try, but it doesn't work. And they're just really, really a good bunch of folks that we've been fortunate to bring in.
And a lot of them, as like Paul said, they want to get in the beer industry, and it's hard to. A brewery isn't necessarily going to hire a guy off the street who just graduated from SOU with a marketing degree. They'll go, well, what beer experience do you have? So a lot of people come here and go, let me get a foot in, and we're more than happy to get somebody to the point that they can go up the next rung in their career in the industry. Some people we want to be here for years. We've got a couple employees that have been here for a decade. or more.
And it seems like what's a better place to learn about beer than the location that has the widest selection in potentially the world?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, being exposed to everything from what's being brewed down the street to the stuff that's been brewed across the planet is priceless. You know? You don't get that a lot of
And they're
places.
able to meet the people who represent those breweries as well. So if they can make an impression upon those people, and we've had some of our customers move on to the supplier side, the breweries.
I mean, employees, not our customers.
Not our customers, but you know, and so we're happy to see them get and moving forward and doing what they are excited to be a part of.
And it's also something that's pretty cool, and I know that it seems like it could be empowering or fun for employees. As you mentioned that every new cook or chef that you bring in has like an impact on the menu, and will like bring a new item to the menu, which is really cool. What's like the most recent thing you've added to the menu here that you could remember at John's Marketplace in Multnomah Village?
Our newest one is the chassis pork belly that was brought in by Alex, our newest kitchen manager. He brings a lot of really stellar background. He was in culinary school and he worked at Higgins and he's worked around the city. And so we were getting a beautiful pulled pork sandwich, pulled pork from Holy Trinity, who is unfortunately closed shop. And so in replacement of that, Alex started making this pork belly sandwich with rolled pork, and it's spectacular.
I'll have to come by and try it.
Yeah.
I have so a lot of the people that listen to this podcast are like aspiring entrepreneurs or aspiring business owners, or maybe they're on that journey themselves. What advice might you have for people that want to enter the food and beverage industry?
Oh boy.
Pretty
Well, I
broad
think
question.
it's what we just kind of touched upon is find a foothold somewhere
Mhm.
and learn from others. To this day, both of us are learning from not only the wizened people who've been in the industry, but we're learning from our new employees who have virtually no experience. You have to be a sponge, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
And especially when you're looking to have your own business, your vision's important, but having a wide vision is equally important. You can learn a lot from that.
Excellent. No, I couldn't agree more. I know, I have a small marketing and video business, and finding mentors and people to work for, and that took me under their wing and like internships, which is an amazing opportunity to really kind of like learn a lot about, best practices in the industry and just learning the basics of certain tools.
Yeah.
What's next for John's Marketplace? Is there anything for people to look forward to? Any new developments?
Well, most immediate thing is we've got a bunch of events this week, but no, we're always looking to move forward. We always say if you're either moving forward or you're moving back, but you don't want to be standing still. And so we're always looking for any opportunities that might avail themselves to us. So many different things come along. We're approached by different people, and so we're always evaluating those things. We've talked everything about stopping where we are to having 10 locations to franchising across the world. But but next is probably.
And we're looking at we definitely are looking at a third location. We're pretty close to figuring that out. It's a little interesting time to be looking to expand, given the kind of uncertainties that we're facing on an almost weekly basis. But we're optimistic. Our business has persevered and survived through recessions and now pandemics, and we just want to be mindful that we're moving in the right direction at the right time for the right reasons.
Excellent. Well, I'm really excited to see what you guys do, and I look forward to coming here for the holidays to like pick up some stocking stuffers and some gifts as well.
Look forward to having you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and everyone, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.